the Arthas all game long. But let's get into Curse Hollow.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of Arthas games, and like I said, I think the Tomb of the Spider Queen is more suited to his playstyle. It hasn't looked bad, and I think there are some definite synergies out there. But looking at Leoric at his finest, basically, maybe not necessarily the flashiest play that last game, but that top keep wrecked them.
Did you happen to see if they swapped sides? I don't think they did, but...
You're asking a lot of me right now, G.
The Haka ban. Okay, take out a global, take out a tank.
If they're banning Dahaka, they're probably making a play on Falstad. So you have to consider letting letting Tassadar through here, else you're going to lose the globals, which if you're okay playing against it, that's fine. But I imagine we'll see a first pick Falstad here.
Zarya.
I mean, that's basically the same hero.
There's a lot of options to consider, though. Malfurion's great. They're even going to give up Falstad here. This is what I was curious about. When you take one of those prominent warriors out like Dahaka, we're just seeing more and more preference on some of these warrior picks that work in any composition since the changes that we've seen recently to some of the other warriors like Tyrael make them a little bit more specific into which, where they're good. Arthas doesn't really suffer like that. Death Coil gives him a lot of self-sustain. He can build into a fair bit of damage. Army of the Dead makes him pretty much invincible.
I think the good thing about a battleground like this is that something like Tomb of the Spider Queen is that you can avoid Arthas to play the objective. You cannot avoid Arthas when we talked about the engagement tools. Basically, you have to engage into Arthas at some point to be able to play around the tributes. So, there's different opportunities for Arthas. There's different choke points that will be available. So, should be a little bit of an easier time, I think, in terms of trying to engage or trying to initiate those fights. In terms of what we talked about at the end of last game.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get that ETC and the Lucio. Now Vala's being hovered as the ban of choice. We've seen a lot of Vala Zarya, especially for those early 3-man pushes that guarantee a lot of damage. Now swapping their intent to potentially banning Greymane. We saw the Greymane blow up, do very well with Curse Bullet, especially against some of these lone front lines. That's so interesting.
Lunara kind of falls into the same area as the Executioner, except hers comes at 13, where she gets the bonus damage on her poison. So paired with Arthas, Arthas gets the slow, and basically it's extra poison damage to slowed heroes. So potentially not wanting to deal with it.
I wouldn't want to deal with it, J-How.
I don't like being poisoned. I like living.
As you have like con flu.
I still can't breathe, but I'm okay, man. I'm good.
It's not poison. Okay, Lunara and Li Ming, 2 spell power heroes taken out of the mix. Vala could be grabbed here.
Yeah, basically any hero that you have to go with here, you have to make sure they have some type of interrupt. Relying solely on Twilight Dream will not be good against the ETC, so Vala with Reign of Vengeance is a good choice. There's obviously a couple of other heroes, but generally it's going to have to be at least one ranged hero with an interrupt. And I think that's why the Li Ming ban came in. Falstad, I think, would be a great pickup here. You get the global, you get good battleground control, you can fight over the bosses, and if all else fails, you have disengage tools at bad times. So Falstad seems like a likely choice, but we've seen some interesting drafts so far tonight.
I'd be shocked if they give him up. Their only reason to give him up is because they want to take Vala away. But you could grab both here and be fine with that. And they're going to get neither of them. They're going Greymane, and they're going a noob. Man, this meta is different.
It does force you into an auto-attack hero. Even then you have...
But Vala's great here. Or Falstad.
I think Vala would be great, yeah.
I mean, auto Season Marksman Falstad is also great here. With Gust. Leo once more.
I think everybody's out to prove a point that Leoric is the Arthas counter. We get it, team. We get it.
I mean, I like his lightsaber hammer. That might be my favorite skin in the game. Space Lord Leoric.
Triple Warrior, though.
It's the third or fourth time we've seen it tonight.
I would almost say Tygus, but I feel like you're almost forced into Falstad or Gul'dan because you need a mosh pit interrupt.
Yeah.
Twilight Dream is not enough to rely on. The minute Malfurion steps forward aggressively for any type of Twilight Dream, period, then you can engage on it.
See Romy.
Give up.
I don't really.
Triple Warrior versus this.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm learning.
I mean, for what it's worth, if it comes down to a poke war, like Chromie wins out easily and has like 3 frontline heroes she just destroys. Greymane has Cursed Bullet, but coordinating a Cursed Bullet with
Oh, these are swapped. I
Chromie, like you can put Slowing Sands down and just Chromie them to death all day.
That's true.
Here's the thing about Chromie is that if you hit 1 Q and 1 W, it hurts a lot. Okay. But if you miss your second W, it's going to be a while before you have your Dragon's Breath again. So Lucio just has passive heals all day.
The thing about Chromie that I like here is, you know, if you think you can land a Howling Blast, Anuvarak has a great follow-up. Howling Blast sometimes could be 2 to 3 people. Behind that, Chromie's combo with a Cursed Bullet in the mix is a dead hero. Doesn't matter who it is. So we're going to see a lot of Howling Blasts that Chromie just follows up on, akin to, you know, the Stitch's hook, and then you just kind of follow up expecting it to work. And I think that's going to be their team fight game plan for a bit of it, but we'll see. They're expecting the top lane to be the 3-man. They guessed correctly. So they're going to try to deny some of this Zarya Vala pressure onto their structures, and this 3-man should be able to do fairly well against it.
No, I'm still thinking about the Chromie pick. I guess one thing that you can bank on is the fact that there is no cleanse for Lucio, and if you can time a... Now again, you have 2 options. Slowing Sands is really good because you can hit skill shots all day. You know where the tribute's going to be. It's actually a really good option. If you opt to go Temporal Loop, there is no cleanse except for later Zarya has a cleansing shield for herself and for her allies. So there's that option. But if you can time a Zarya shield, which is on 12-second cooldown, then if you see that shield go out, you use your Temporal Loop, and now Zarya cannot save that person, but you still have Sound Barrier to deal with. I don't know. There's so many options. I love Chromie. We got to see how it works.
Well, this 3-man is finally starting to work out as the ammunition is slowly but surely fading into nothingness, and 1 tower has fallen. About 8 shots on the top tower there. Mid lane, Arthas versus ETC, the most exciting matchup you could ever imagine.
I don't know what's happening in the bottom lane, but...
Yo, Soy is just throwing out the fat deeps.
Chromie is dominating Leoric.
I like it. I can dig it.
I can't? How is this?
I mean,
work?
Bronze Talons has got to be a big part of that. Uh-oh. Soy.
So is standing there and eating a Q to the face.
Well, we are at the 2-minute marker, so we do see mercenary camps are available. The Giants started braided here. The Greymane picking that one up. Homicidal narrowly dodging that one. Ooh, almost steps into the W. Does get hit by another Q, just raw Q, followed up by the Bronze Talons. A lot of DPS onto him. The cooldown of his well is another 70 seconds, so the Healing Fountain not really an option for him. Don't want to take those Qs to the face, man. Uh-oh, if he steps in that. Alright, this is a free tribute. Trying to trade for a fort, but the 3-man defense with Giants. So far, so good.
Alright, so a little bit of an experience advantage just from that structure advantage that we see from that 3-man, which is a really strong 3-man to deal with. Chromie has rotated up to the middle to try and deal with ETC a little bit as Arthas going to try and hold it down against Leoric. And that 3-man is just going to continue the push of the top.
Yeah, they're looking for that fort. They will get it for sure. It'll give them a nice bit of, XP advantage. Already have the 852 towers. Great film. And yeah, picking that fort up would be really good for them. Just for 7 and so on. They even rotate Chromie up to try to defend this as a noob swaps down to mid. I like the idea, but you see how much energy Frozen X gets from all those Qs. Like, it's not too hard to predict. Greymane going in, a good attempt with the combo of Chromie and Greymane to try to get a Lutana, but he was a little bit too quick, but they do manage to turn onto How, find themselves a kill, but they did lose that fort.
That Chromane combo is real.
Chromane.
All right, first blood of the game obtained for LFM as they finally rotated up and did secure that kill, but we are on our second tribute. It's going to be here at the bottom right. Should be able to get the interrupt. Yeah, there it is. The rest of the team going to make it down, and this is where Chromie can really shine. She'll just sit in that little pocket, continue to throw out. Zarya does pretty well herself, but you can see Vala and Lucio are not here. They're going to have to back out of here.
Good Howling Blast Burrow charge.
Get bad.
And the Soy, no, does not get the kill on the battery. Good prediction there, but Draded gets down to 23 HP. Unable to finish him off. ETC should be able to tap the well. Battery will be re-engaging momentarily. Homicidal doing his best to zone this. Frozen throwing out shot after shot, and now Battery in the back will be able to pick up a tribute, evening things up 1-1.
Yeah, I think they just ran short of mana there and weren't able to stay in. There's the roots, the charge in, but you can see the shield is keeping them from taking a bit of damage. Good cleanse onto a Nubarak, but it's not going to be enough despite the Dragon's Breath coming down the back as well.
If Dragon's Breath was ready to go in with that whole combo we saw set up from a noob Arthas, then that would have been a wondrous amount of DPS, but it just wasn't there.
Even in death, slight experience advantage here. Leoric rotated to the top. That fort is gone basically. Actually, it is gone.
Yeah,
basically.
It went down when they got that kill on Lucio and actually died at the same moment, pretty much. So
Leoric's large portrait was blocking them.
I mean, he is an oath. Okay, Icebound, Dragon's Eye with the Sonic Sands. The Cleanse, which we saw used, should be just about off cooldown. Yeah, 3 more seconds.
This is the 3-man that everybody's worried about. You can pair Vala with a Zarya, Tassadar, or any other support at that point, and just basically push in. There's not a lot of other 3-mans that can defend against that.
No.
Zarya alone can contribute so much, but level 10 is here, and the next tribute's up. This should be a free cap. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a boss attempt started for that of Even in Death with the 10-tier advantage.
Yeah, why not? They've got the control right now.
They're scooting on up there.
Expulsion, stage dive. Okay. Yep, here they go. Starting on their boss, ETC. Keeping eyes on roots were used to zone him away. Malfury, and now starting on the boss, scouting drone and time trap down. So they will be picking up the counter boss for themselves. Not a bad call. Battery trying to have this looming threat, but they know the boss has not been completed on the other side of the map, so they've got plentiful amounts of time to do this themselves. And it should be a safe pickup 1-1 with the boss. Level 10 for them is the Locust Swarm, Army of the Dead, Slowing Sands, Twilight Dream, and Greymane still thinking about it.
I can see why you would stay away from stage dive in case you don't get Chromie, and Battery's got to be a little bit careful there. in case you don't get Chromie and Greybane, because you become a stationary target with Cursed Bullet and a Dragon's Breath. It becomes super scary. But against a team with almost virtually no interrupts, I'm actually a little bit surprised at that. I don't count a Nubret because Nubret normally gets caught.
Even in depth, another mid-game moment where they're looking to take out a keep. Last time, they paid dearly for it. This time, they've got the curse, they've got the boss, and the stage dive goes in. BBJ takes a bit of damage, but nothing too much for him. Bottom lane, a non-issue here for LFM since they have that boss of their own. We do see the Entomb cast there to no effect, but the keep should be going down for even in depth, which is really what they wanted out of this.
Yeah, they're going to get that pretty easily, and they're going to walk away. So first, keep up the game. Chromie continues to try and poke down the enemy team to no avail. Good value out of the first curse is they get a keep and mid-fort at the same time. Not too shabby.
Yeah, and the curse defended the boss as well, since there are no minions to push with it in the bottom lane. So they didn't even lose their fort. 2-level lead as a result. Yeah, good power play. (13-11). You should be able to soak 13 by the time the next tribute phase comes up. That'll be an advantage for them to try and get back in the game. But a 2-level lead, a level and a half basically. That's not the worst thing to come back from. You still do need to try and find a pick or two. So we'll see if they can get that in the next tribute or whether they'll try and force the issue, because basically every camp is accounted for. Yeah, that's tough. They've got this one option, but even then they're wary because EDC showing. They now need to re-grab that watchtower. Leo's getting free push down bottom with a lot of friends on the way, giants on the way, trying to take out this last fort, and they should be more than successful in doing so. Battery continuing to keep eyes on and soak on as well, so really, really good map control from even in depth.
They'll continue the push here. Again, without the threat of globals, you can be a little bit more aggressive so long as you have vision on the rest of the map. That's why they're being so aggressive by pushing everything up, clearing that sidewall there, which also grants vision, so just making sure they have complete control of basically every part of the battleground they tend to pass by. And again, as a point that you pointed out before, previously, is if you push the lanes up so far, eventually you got to be careful how far you go in the lanes. It makes it easier for your opponent to soak that experience, but you also kind of get stuck a little bit. We're gonna see they might try and collapse on ETC there. Nah, they're gonna let him be.
Yeah, it's a tough situation right now. They want that fight because it's 13-15, no talent tier disadvantage on the side of even in depth, or LFM, excuse me. But this tribute is not essential, however this fight kind of is because of the fact there's no 16 quite yet. ETC getting the global push, Soak with stage dive in his pocket, getting those catapults as far forward as he can.
Yeah, the catapults are a far bigger deal with that push. It's something you can't necessarily ignore. Like any other time, you're just like, all right, ETC, we're going to need you here. But because you have those catapults, you can delay this out as much as you want. And you have Zarya that can just poke and poke. If Leoric goes down, it's not the biggest of deals. Either way, ETC has now made his way all the way to the core with those catapults. So this becomes a threat. You now are being forced to respond. And this is not a good spot for LFM to be in. They're going to have to engage, and they go in deep right now, G.
They're going in deep. The stage dive in the back. BBJ is now in a terrible spot. Doesn't even have Ice Block available. He's so low. Down he goes. And yeah, that's going to be a really tough situation. They might get the double kill here. Maybe they'll find another one. No, Hecarim will go down to 2 for 2. Utana low in the back, but the catapults have piled up, and the core shields are already gone here. So they need to get back. You see, I'm a little surprised they're not keeping...
Oh my goodness, this is actually happening. They are giving up so much core damage, and we are only 12 minutes in, all due to the global. That is the power of the global. Now this will make any backdoor attempt a huge threat, because it is down to 42%. 40%? This is insane what they just gave up. They might actually take this boss and just push it straight into core.
Why wouldn't you? It's the go-to play. They've got 16 advantage.
They were AFK on the base, by the way. He's finally coming out now.
Hecarim's,
He was AFK on the base. I was like, I think your health is good.
He found a cookie and he's like, I'm gonna eat this.
That's what will keep me in place is a cookie.
Ice block already used. BBJ is dead. The game should, yeah, the game's over.
Going to game 3. It's all about the game and how you play it.
It's all about the base.
A completely different reference, but okay. Game 3 it is. Catapults, you know, if the catapults aren't on the core there, we're still looking at a game that's still going on. But this is going to be a boss. I mean, it's going to take an epic throw here.
Yeah, what are the next words in that song? Because I think my brain right now, which is quite sleepy, is no jello.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down. 3 best of 3s tonight. We're going to another game 3 here in the finals. Even in death, evening it up. 1-1.